We're gonna kind of go through and see where he's at, where I'm at.
So altogether, it was around $4,500,
Okay.
and that's conservatively priced based on kind of how I do my pricing. I'm willing to just like knock $1,000 off like right
Yep.
away.
He is at 3,500 on all of that stuff over there. What are you thinking for these controllers?
It'd probably be at like $200, like something like that.
Okay.
I'd throw in the boxed games and all the controllers minus a couple at $4, all in for everything.
4,000.
Yeah.
3,750.
Let's do 38.
38, he countered at 38. All right, so we got everything laid out on the table. I figured with this big of a purchase, I should probably kind of explain our process, give you some of the highlights, and then at the end of the video, we'll go over some numbers of basically, was this a good buy or was it not? Also, I do want to give a shout out to Jared. Thank you for the sale. I don't think you're gonna be offended, but if I do say like, oh, like I probably wouldn't have bought this, like that's not you, that's me asking to buy everything from you. So nothing against you as a seller, just things that normally I wouldn't buy. An example would be the darn steering wheel that I had to bring. That's probably not gonna get processed in this video because it's gonna be low priority. I don't wanna test it, I don't wanna ship it, I don't wanna do anything with it, but appreciate you. Let's talk about this buy. I got games laid out here. I've already gone through and resurfaced all of them that need it. Shout out to the Elm Master for being able to do 50 discs at a time. We're pretty heavy on resurfacing. If it's got a little bit of a scratch, I want the customer to get a basically brand new looking disc. So we'll just resurface just about any disc that has a little bit of scratching to it. But pretty much all of these disc games are gonna go to Amazon. There might be a couple that there's not a good listing or something like that. And then there are gonna be obviously games that are just not worth selling on Amazon. Those will end up booked together and put on eBay. And we have some cartridge games done here. And then we do have a couple of box games. So we'll check Amazon. We might sell those on there. It just kind of depends on what the listing looks like. And then the boxes will go to eBay for sure. But if you're interested in any of those, definitely check them out. We do have Star Tropics, Choo Choo Rocket, RoboCop, Jack and Nichols, Super Mario 3. We do have a long box PS1 game. I think it's Street Fighter Alpha. So those will probably all go to eBay, but we might sell the game on Amazon. This is another example of something that's probably gonna go on eBay. It's like a collector edition of Gears of War. I might actually keep it. I did actually really enjoy the Gears of War games. So kind of the rest of this is gonna go different places based on where it's gonna sell best. So like the Dreamcast controller, we're just gonna keep the controller. We'll use it, and then the box I'm probably gonna swap it for the one that I have. Because I really like the branding on Dreamcast stuff. 8-bit dough, I might actually keep this. This might end up being something I use for testing or on my computer or something like that. And then we have the Saturn Retrobit controller. That'll probably go on eBay. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consoles, 7 consoles. All of these are gonna go to Amazon for sure. We'll have to test them and then check. Yeah, no expansion on that. Also, he was not selling this for 130. It came with a bunch of other stuff. And then obviously controllers, cords, all that stuff. We got them, they're just not on the table. And do you wanna talk about probably a couple of things that I probably would not have purchased, but when you buy out a vendor, you buy everything, and so that's just part of it. So first off is this case, which can't even figure out how to open.
This guy had bought his friend's personal binder of games, and this guy had some eclectic taste because he's got some pretty cool discs in here.
This case is loose games. They are good ones in here. Chrono Cross, Game Shark in here, a bunch of Atlas titles, Xenosaga, Shining Force. I actually don't know what that game is, but looks like a game that probably has some kind of value. I don't really like buying loose games, and he had this at, I think I saw 500 is what it added up to. Probably would not have bought this, but I'm hoping that we can use it and match it up with some loose cases that we have, our empty cases. He did make me take 2 Guitar Hero guitars. I stopped buying these. I don't like shipping them. They're always missing the dongle, which is the expensive part. I just unload them to friends that sell Guitar Hero because I don't want to mess with them. Consoles, we'll always buy consoles. We're really ramping up consoles, and we're going to continue to probably ramp it up into the next year. We'll always take those. We did get a VR headset. Kind of not wanting to buy those anymore. They don't seem to be selling super well, especially with the new one out. We'll see if we buy those again in the future. But everything else should do well. Kind of the plan now is we're gonna spend the rest of the week processing this, get you numbers of Amazon, eBay, and then we will just be keeping a lot of other stuff. So like we bought a lot of controllers at the end. We're just gonna keep those and use those for future consoles. So that will hurt a little bit of the value a little bit, but overall, exciting purchase. Next update should be kind of like where we are, kind of a few of the items that are gonna do well on eBay. So stay tuned for that. All right, so it's been a couple of days. First off, shout out to Jared. Thank you so much for working on a deal again. A lot of stuff that we wouldn't normally buy, but it's actually worked out pretty well. I know in the last video I talked about the steering wheel he sold me. That's not something I would normally buy, but we did end up selling it for I think like $80 to $90.
Like the steering wheel,
The steering
wheel is something you definitely want.
The steering wheel that I don't want at all is he's using as a leveraging.
Yeah, for sure. Shout
out to him for that. That was cool. And then I did want to run some numbers by you all on kind of how this worked out. So we spent $3,890. Like I said, we listed quite a bit more than normal from like a deal like this on eBay. We listed $1,420. That would be after fees, after shipping, all of that. So that's money coming back to us. The bigger number is on the Amazon side. After fees, shipping, all of that, should be getting about $5,230. All games and consoles. I think there might have been a couple things that we might have missed. I'm not sure that the 2DS or DSi XL that he sold me would be included in that. And there might be a couple odds and ends. Finally, there's a lot of controllers, cables, etc. like that.
A lot of controllers and stuff that have been gone through. They've been tested and cleaned, and some of this stuff is good stuff, like tight stick on an S64 controller. I've got some like new, no stick drift PS4 controllers. Like I've even got some like Atari, what is this, 5200? Tons of Xbox stuff. Some like PS2 controllers that are like the, non like normal ones. Oh, I even have a translucent green like we were just talking about with, let's see, I mean I even got some GameCube stuff in here, so I think there's a Wavebird in here. Like there's a lot of stuff
that we're going to end up keeping and use for future consoles and things like that, because we get consoles all the time that don't have controllers. So total value of all of this, theoretically what I should get after fees, shipping, everything is $6,650, which leads to $2,760 in profit. It's about a 70% profit margin on that. I like to double up on most things, but I needed an inventory, so we needed this, and it kept us working during the holidays. And then obviously some other really big buys coming up, so stay tuned for those. Again, thank you, Jared. I'm out, gangstas. This is Jared. I do want to give a shout out to Jared. Thank you for the sale. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jared. Shout out to Jared. Thank you so much. Shout out to him for that. That was cool.